I thought last year was crazy when school ended on March 13th. I got sick on March 6th, so school ended for me a week earlier when I came down with this dreadful stuff. And we were well positioned for distance learning because all my curriculum's online. It's all delivered through a gamification system that was developed after an experience in 2011 when I had to play World of Warcraft for my master's. Seriously, I had to do that. And out of that experience came a gamification system my students and I built together and have used ever since. It has evolved. And as many great ideas as I got out of World of Warcraft, I figure with the daunting task of teaching online to students who have Chromebooks in a classroom where we use, or previously used, the Adobe suite of apps, Premiere, Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, that whole lot that don't function on a Chromebook. I figured it was time to do something crazy. So I bought No Man's Sky. And I don't have a PS4 or an Xbox or a PC for that matter. But NVIDIA has GeForce Now, which allows Mac users to stream PC games. And I thought, cool. And tested out my system, and NVIDIA said, oh, you got a fabulous connection, no problem whatsoever. And I have played 177 hours and 13 minutes. Yes, the game keeps track. I have played all that time, almost an entire school year for a kid in a normal class, of No Man's Sky with what I'm told is a spotty internet connection. So the game is constantly staggering and freezing and frustrating as hell, but full of wonderful ideas. So what's this preamble all about? It's been suggested to me that I should not buy ScreenFlow 9, but jumping over, let's stick in Chrome for right now, and go to a new window, that I should share my strategies for this new year. And in our system, we have what were previously called badges or achievements and are now inventory items. And I found these cool icons from the Royal Society of Chemistry, where you can download all 118. This is a lie. You don't get 118 in this download. You get about 100, I think it's 103. You got to backfill the missing ones. But I downloaded all these, and I thought, how cool to let the kids level through the periodic table. Hey, Scotchko, what's chemistry have to do with the Mac lab? Well, all disciplines are intertwined. I don't believe in silos, so this is one way to get it across. And these are cool infographics with lots of information about each element. And I thought, well, what a cool way to liven up the experience. So that's my leveling system, and I've got to change the way the XP works because there's 118 levels in our new fractured environment. And how am I going to make that work? So there's challenge number one. And then in our new inventory system, we have the ability to use consumable items, to combine items into new items, to pay to play in quests, to unlock things in new and interesting ways. Now, what's this have to do with digital arts? Absolutely nothing, other than there are problems to solve. There are ways to make acquiring the knowledge to succeed in the classroom a bit more enticing for some students. For those who don't care about games, all this stuff's going to happen anyway. They do their work. They accumulate these items naturally as a fundamental part of getting their work done, and things unlock. If you have the items, things unlock. And you might think, hey, this is a lot of stuff to show the kids right off the bat. They see none of this. We also have a new feature called discoverability. They don't see a single one of these until they acquire one. And then it pops up in their stats panel. And over the course of the year, that stats panel will grow. Now, fundamentals. I have just begun to fill this in. This is the elements and principles of art and design. And the rest of the competencies I want the kids to understand are going to go right here. And so this is going to be a large group of inventory items that the kids can accumulate. And you see there's some level of repeatability here. It's for deeper dives, for enrichment activities, for driving home the point of what are these things and how are they used, even though you can't draw a picture, take a photograph, you can't do anything creative without encountering one or more, usually a collection of these items. So it's a way to drive that home. Then mindset. Again, what's this have to do with digital arts? Well, in a way, it has to do with the way an artist thinks and feels, sees the world. And again, with the idea that these can stack, you can learn a little more about this, and you can perhaps have a more interesting year from the comfort of your own home. Where not a lot of kids are interested in participating in a fractured experience without those great Adobe tools. So I'm trying to create hooks. And some of those hooks, you notice I have a 1% cred modifier. Last year this was called rep. In prior years it was called health or damage or whatever. All of this is customizable. And that is a multiplier. It affects how many credits you get. So rather than gold, we have credits this year. And right now you get 1% of it. Well, in the initial quest where I'm trying to drive home the mindset I want the kids to have and their ability to self-assess honestly with integrity, well, that's where they're going to accumulate these cred coins. These are redeemable in the exchange. That's our store over here. But again, they don't even know these exist until they encounter them, and then they have to learn how to turn them in the exchange. And again, what's this have to do with digital arts? It's all about making this more interesting, less like school. And the idea is, if you know anything about the Mac Lab, this is all my kids work here. They do incredible things. Well, it's not all. That's my cat. But before I go off on a tangent there, and then they can acquire credits because early on with this low rep modifier, even though they're going to build up slowly, there's going to be a need for credits. And so there's going to be a way for credits to drop. Sometimes randomly, sometimes with intent. I'll tell you what, that 500 credits is not going to drop with intent. It's going to be a random item that's a rare drop that will happen to some students. And then, what do we have? Okay, and then alerts. Because I want the kids to understand some things. That when you complete a mission, sometimes another mission just pops up. Last year I called these quests, this year it's missions. And I'm using discoverability all over the place. When the kids hit the site, there's going to be one mission, one thing for them to do. What the heck? And when they complete it, something else is going to appear. And there's going to be a notification that says, that I haven't filled in yet, that's going to alert them to check the map. Hey, you got a new mission sitting there. And it's more than a new mission. It's something else I'm going to be trying. But all of these have the intent built into them. My purpose is to create an environment that is unlike anything they've ever experienced before. Kind of like this. This is a procedural game. There are 19 quintillion planets. There's no way to see everything in this game, to see even the smallest fraction of a percent. And I consider that awesome. I want to create that same environment where no matter how hard, how deeply a kid is committed to this classroom, they can't ever exhaust the creative possibilities and have fun in the process. So this may seem like a lot, and it took some time to build. But other people on our system can come here and clone these things, can clone my quest, can clone my site, and then modify it, tinker with it, edit, customize it to suit your own needs. That's the system we built. And that system is at gameful.me, where you can get 3-month free trial, just 3 months. Try it out. Try it out for the first semester. See how your kids like it. It's work to set up, but once it's set up, the classroom runs itself. There's far more to it than that, especially with distance learning. But I can't tell you how excited I am at the prospect of doing something completely different than I've ever done before, with some brand new tools that are pretty darn exciting. All right, you guys, I'll leave a link below to let you know if you want to try out Gameful Me. This is set up for teachers, for educators, okay? And unlike GeForce Now, which has, very unreliable connections, Mick, my partner in crime, and I use this system too, the same system that every teacher uses. It is responsive. It's amazing. Date and time stamps for every single thing a kid does, all kinds of admin tools, built-in blog for all the kids. I am thrilled at how far this has come since those primitive days that we threw together our first online automated gamification system. But in a lot of ways, that foundation is still there. Built by students and now by teachers.